God. Fucking A. We are fucking live. What up, everybody? This is the Rick T Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, along with your host, Tony Cave and Jello Rexroad. How you boys doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good.
Am good, man. Just chilling. Ready to get this podcast underway. It is finally wild card week, and I want to shout out my boy Little J Sick. He put some clapping emojis in the chat. He's ready for the show to get popping, man. But like I said, man, this is the Rick T Podcast, episode 22. All three of us here. It is finally playoffs, NFL playoffs, man. How you boys feeling about it? I didn't even think we'd make it here.
Feeling good.
I mean,
I'm
ready. See some upsets.
Ready.
That's what I'm ready for.
There's some good ass games this weekend, so let's get right into it, man. We're gonna start off with week 17 games and scores of the week. So we're gonna go to the last week and throw a couple games on there. We're gonna start off with the Steelers game. Steelers 22 at Browns 24. I'm gonna come with you first on this one, Tony. Baker Mayfield, he got into the playoffs by 2 points against a bunch of backups, man. It was a great game, though. So how are you feeling on it?
I'm actually gonna ride the Baker train. I'm taking Browns by 3.
Browns by 3. This was last week's game, actually. We're not talking about this week's game yet.
It ain't gonna be the Saints, Jay.
It was Steelers 22, Browns 24. Browns pulled it out by 2 points this past weekend.
Oh.
I mean, you play again, so I don't blame you for fucking getting confused.
Yeah, okay. It was their backups. So they're going to have to make a game plan to do that same exact thing against the starters next time.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. It was a great game. Jello, coming to you on this one. I don't know if you watched this one or not, but Steelers 22 at Browns 24. How you feeling on that one?
I mean, it was a good game. I watched it, and the Steelers played a lot more starters than I thought they were going to. The only ones I know that sat out were Hayward, T.J. Watt, and Ben. So they did have a lot of other starters playing out there, though. So, I mean, I think this is the thing. I've said this all year. Who wants it more? So, I mean, this game was good. I give it to him. Rudolph made a lot of mistakes, but they're mistakes that Ben has made also throughout this season. So, I mean, overall, it was a good game. If they can get that rushing down and get it down pat like they need to, it could be lights out. And it's something that they needed to pick up in this last game. So, I mean, it's crazy.
I agree with you, man. Steelers 22 at Browns 24. Look, I'm only saying this because I've been dogging the fucking dog shit out of Baker Mayfield the last 2 weeks, saying that he wasn't going to be able to do it. And he did it. So I will give my kudos to Baker, but I will also say I do not feel stupid at all for dogging him, because he did almost throw it away. Like, swear to God, he dropped it against the Jets, and then all he had to do was beat the Steelers, and he beat them by 2, the backups. And if you guys watched that game, I don't know if you guys watched that game, it literally was a 2-point conversion that the Steelers failed. And that's the reason why it was 22-24 and not 24-24. And then Baker on a 3rd and 1 ran it right, slid, got the first down, and then got up and started talking shit and doing all kinds of his waving shit. I don't know, man. I'm still not a Baker fan. Like I said, you got to and I will say this. I did say you have to win to go ahead and do your shit talking and stuff like that. And it's a matter of in the moment type of deal, which I will give him that. It was definitely in the moment. But like I said, I definitely think the Steelers are going to mop the hell out of him this upcoming week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it just wasn't good enough from Baker against backups. It just was not good enough against Baker, or for Baker against backups. And like Edub 8485, what's up, Edub? He said they played their backups. Exactly my point. They played their backups, and a 2-point conversion called that game.
But like Jello said, they didn't sit all of their starters.
Okay, so let's do this then. If we're not going to talk about backup and starters, let me look at this. Baker Mayfield went 17 for 27 for 1 touchdown and 196 yards. Mason Rudolph went 22 for 39 for 315, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception.
So, yeah, he did have more passing attempts there.
You know what I mean? Like, shit. 38-7 Steelers first matchup.
The Steelers' offense is not good enough to put up 38 points.
Mm-hmm. I don't think
wild card. This is where I get with it, though. So Rudolph did look good in the end, but he can get out of the pocket. That's a huge thing. He's a lot younger, and that's something Ben struggles with. And that's the thing. Those are the 2 biggest things. If the Browns can pick up their running game, and the Steelers, and if Ben makes those mistakes, this could go either way. I'm not trying to call it right now, but it's about to be a crazy ass weekend. That's for sure.
Oh, I completely agree with you guys. But we'll get into that a little later. We'll go into the next game. Jello, coming at you first on this one. Vikings 37 at Lions 35. It was a back and forth banger if you watch this one. How are you feeling on this one? Let's talk about it.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting the score to get this high. I mean, because Dalvin Cook was out, so it was like a throwing game. And so
hang on 1 second.
Yeah,
I want to go back because Justin was talking about the Browns and Steelers first matchup. Steelers 38-7 early in the season. That's what he was talking about. Not his prediction for the.
Yeah. Like the first time they played this year.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was calling that score.
Yeah, no. Hell,
that's the only time they have put up 38 points. So.
Yeah, that will not happen. Not in the wild card week. But continue, Jello. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, it's one of those games where it was all offense, and I mean, neither team really had anything to play for. I mean, neither of them were going to jump up draft spots if they won or lost, so it really didn't mean anything. So I'm not surprised that, I mean, there was no defense. I just didn't expect, it to be over on the points for this game. So, I mean, once again, we just get to see Jefferson shine. I mean, Lions are doing what they do. I feel like there's going to be a huge overhaul. So, I mean, I guess this could have been one of the most fun games to watch all week, but who knew?
Yeah, I completely agree. Tony, we'll come to you on this one. Vikings 37 at Lions 35. We all three know not to bet on the Lions, and this is exactly why. So what do you got?
That was way too close for comfort. I saw something that someone was calling Stafford a Hall of Fame quarterback. I want to address that, and I disagree with that. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks I've seen in my lifetime. He's tough as hell. He gets hurt and he comes back. There's an uncut clip. I think it's like the longest uncut clip in the NFL history of him getting hurt, coming back and throwing a touchdown pass to win the game. I think he messed up his shoulder or something like that. He's a tough dude, but he just doesn't have what it takes, man. The Vikings are a solid team. So it was way too close for comfort, though.
I agree. And to add on to that, if you know anything about Stafford, and I know Jalen does, he's sitting here saying Stafford is ass. Jay, me and Jalen have been watching Matt Stafford since the Elite 11 contest, like for high school quarterbacks going into college. He was on that. And I was like, man, this dude is going to be actually pretty good. And it's crazy to see him go to the NFL and get his career ruined from being in Detroit. It sucks to say because that's just one of the places that really ruins careers. I'm sorry. If your name is not Barry Sanders, your career is not going anywhere there. Same with Megatron. Megatron made a name for himself there, but did he win anything at all? Hell no. You know what I mean? So it's just It's a shame to watch Matt Stafford go from Elite 11 to coming towards the end of his career and still be nothing, still not really be a winner. He's definitely a good quarterback. He's definitely a tough guy, like you said. But Kirk Cousins, 405 yards. He went stupid. Justin Jefferson also put up 133 yards. I don't know, man. He is putting up a competition for Justin Herbert. And
I honestly, I'm switching it right now. Now that we're talking about the Vikings, Justin Jefferson's my rookie of the year.
It scares me.
Justin Jefferson's my rookie of the year, and the reason why is because he passed Randy Moss for yards this year, rookie years with the Minnesota Vikings.
But then, look, I see that, and I'm like, man, he's honestly been performing better than Justin Herbert. But Justin Herbert broke a rookie record for quarterbacks and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So it goes kind of even. I don't know. What do you got to say on it, Jello?
So, I mean, I think Herbert still deserves it. So he broke 3 records. Not only did he break the touchdown record, he broke the most games over 300 yards for a rookie, which was a huge one at that point. And there was one other one, I forget who it was, and he broke like 6 different records in his own organization at that point. So, I mean, I would love to see Jefferson win it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there's anything holding Herbert back from getting it at this point.
In
Maybe
my
the
opinion,
record, but
yeah, in my opinion, to win Rookie of the Year, you should have to play all year. Herbert got lucky and proved himself to be able to hold that spot after he got lucky.
Week 2.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was so mad that he wasn't starting. Jalen said Justin Herbert, Rookie of the Year, he broke records. Yeah, that is facts. Breaking Randy Moss's record is like a record, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's just another person, but it's like
it's Randy Moss.
Moss, exactly. You know what I mean? So
Randy Moss.
Out of my mind. But I do want to go back to something that EW8045 said. He said he put him somewhere else and he would be an okay quarterback. And I think he's talking about Matt Stafford. And I agree with that, but at this point in his career, it might be almost too late. Like, I don't know exactly how old he is, but Matt Stafford's been playing for quite a while. So, I don't know. When I see him somewhere else, I kind of see him in a Fitzmagic situation, like where he's battling. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm looking it up.
I think it was 2008 or 2009.
It's coming to the end of his career.
He's 32 years old, yeah.
Justin goes, it's Randy Moss, quoting Tony.
Exactly.
It is
Randy freaking Moss. All right, so now I have 2 quotes. It's Randy Moss, and he's legally blind.
He's legally blind. What's I need a quote.
Okay.
I'm picking the Jets. That could be your quote.
I do be picking the Jets more than anybody, but now I can't say it. Now I need a new quote. I'm starting it on this show, and you boys will hear it first from me. Jefferson broke Moss' record as a Viking. That is true. That's what I'm saying, though. It's a wannabe record. It's not an actual NFL record book. It's just a franchise record.
So he got Matthew Stafford drafted in 2009.
So it was 9? Okay.
Yeah, bro. 12, 13 years as a quarterback, bro. It's coming to a hard end for my man. I see it coming to a hard end for my man.
I think he can still move, though. I feel like if he gets into a solid offense like he's never really had, I think it could be game over. I think he could be taking him to the playoffs. Because, I mean, he only had Megatron for what? Well, he had him for 6 years, maybe?
Yeah.
But that was his only weapon. There was nobody else out there catching balls or nothing. So
I see him as the next great Andy Dalton if he goes anywhere.
Oh.
Y'all know what it is. We're gonna move on to this next game. I'm starting this bitch off Cowboys 19, Giants 23. I want to first off give a round of applause to the Giants. I had all my chips in on the Cowboys, but for them to beat us and to take us out of the equation is it's hard, bro. The battle fight to the fittest. So I give straight fucking hands to the Giants. They beat us fair and square. It was a great game, back and forth, but we just couldn't do it. Couldn't get past their defense at the end of the game. So great job, Giants. I don't really have nothing to say about this. I'm excited for the next year for both teams. I'm excited to see what the NFC brings or NFC East brings next year compared to this year and stuff like that. So I'm finally just glad this season's fucking over. I know it's really fucked up to say, but I'm really glad this season's over for my team, for the Giants, for the Eagles. Like, just let the torture be done. You know what I mean? Let Washington go out there. Fucking, they deserved it. They're gonna play in playoffs, so it is what it is. Great game, Giants. I don't really have much to say about it, but we're gonna go on to you, Jello. Cowboys 19, Giants 23. How do you feel about this one?
This is literally like I said. Once again, I mean, it just came down to the team who wanted it more. The Giants fought hard for that win because they had the opportunity to go to the playoffs at that point. So, and obviously that was taken away from them with stupid calls. But I mean, Giants did it. Cowboys didn't win. It just goes to show. I mean, the Cowboys won some games. They lost a lot more. I mean, it just goes to show. So I think there's going to be a huge overhaul. Like I said, I'm still calling it Zeke to the Jets. So we'll see what they do there. But I mean, for the first time ever, we can actually say in 4 years, the Cowboys need Dak. So, and I think if he comes back next year, he comes back healthy, could be lights out, but they lost, they're out. It's time to move on.
And I do want to bring this up too. Now that we are considered out of playoffs, we can finally restart negotiation talks with Dak. So I'm pretty sure that started like the minute that we were out. You know what I mean? Jerry had his agent on the phone, like, yo, talk to Dak's agent. And they just started talking. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. Tony, swinging it to you. Cowboys 19, Giants 23. What do you got to say on that one?
It was a fun game to watch. It really was. But all I want to say is the Giants are a bunch of freaking crybabies. They had 16 games to win. 16 games, 16 chances to get into the playoffs. You can't rely on another NFL team. So
that's facts. Facts. I don't know, man. It was a win-and-in game. Giants win, but they didn't get in because of the Washington football team's win. But we'll talk about that a little later. We'll swing it to the next game, boys. And Tony, we're coming to you on this one first. I want to hear it strictly from you. I'm not gonna lie, fact. I did not watch this game. There was a couple games that I really didn't watch, and then I looked at the scores and I was like, oh, they lost by 1. Like, damn, or the Chiefs lost. Like, damn, like shit was just surprising me this week on certain games I didn't watch. So, Tony, coming to you first on this one. It's got to hurt, even though you guys are not in playoffs, anything. It's just the last game of the season. You got to come out with a win. It's momentum. Raiders 32 versus Broncos 31. What happened?
The Broncos were playing physical. Like physical football. Ruggs got messed up. He got roughed up pretty good. I was texting Justin in chat over Snapchat, and he said, you guys are playing rough today. And I was like, how's Ruggs doing? He's like, he's seeing stars, bro. So we were playing physical. We let it go. We need to let Vic Fangio go. He lined McManus up for a 70-yard field goal that got blocked. I don't even know why they even attempted a 70-yarder. McManus doesn't have the leg for it. And then he just came back down to the last seconds, and then we got another field goal blocked at the end of the game.
And I do want to bring this up because it's not in our table talks a little bit later. You were right about needing John Elway to step down or get fired or something like that, and that's exactly what happened. Literally less than a week, then you called it in your bold predictions. I need John Elway to get out of that spot.
Yes, sir.
And then less than a week later, he's stepping down from his GM spot. He's going to stay part of the Denver Broncos, but he's not going to be in that GM spot. Could you, next time we're talking about that, could you predict Jerry Jones getting out of the Cowboys GM spot?
We'll talk about it. I'll think about it. I got to feel it out.
Perfect. Justin said, Jay Money time. He said Broncos had it out for the Raiders. I hand it to him, bro. Raiders finished 1-5. You talking about in division?
In the last 6 games.
Jesus.
Last 6 games, I think.
Fuck, you guys are horrible. Max Crosby is what the J Money Time says. Whatever. Jello, swinging it to you. Like I said, I didn't watch this game, man. So how you feeling? Raiders 32 at Broncos 31.
So this is a big thing, and it's another reason why I think Vic Fangio is out. I don't know what he was doing. If he was so messed up, he didn't know what side of the ball he was on. He called the timeout towards the end of the game that helped the Raiders.
They were about to get a delay of game.
Yep, they were going to get a delay of game call, and he called the timeout, which stopped the clock and helped the Raiders. Literally, John Gruden, in after the game, thanked him for doing that. Because basically, that solely won him the game at that point. So it's crazy.
Fire him. Get him out of here.
Yep. And I think with Elway stepping down, I was hoping he'd be out because we could have won that game. The Raiders had like 5 or 6 turnovers between fumbles, interceptions, 4th down stops. Like, we played to win. And I don't know if he called that timeout to move up that one draft spot or what, but he's done it like 9 times this season. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen from a head coach. Like, I get there's not calling plays to help yourself, but he called a fucking timeout to help the Raiders. So who knows? Maybe he thought the Broncos had the ball, but shit's stupid, man. We could have had that one.
E-Dub 8485 says, hell no. And J Money Time says, John Gruden is a savage. Jets did the same thing. 3 turnovers and 4 offensive plays.
Yep.
What's wrong with him? I don't know. It seemed like a shit bowl game for real. It seemed like both teams had a lot of shit going on with them. Both teams made a lot of mistakes, but just Denver made one mistake that was just too much. Too much.
Yeah, it all added up. The 70-yard field goal is when I freaking was tired of it.
You're like, did it say 71 yards?
Dude, how do you line up for a 70-yard field goal and then let it get blocked?
I don't know, bro.
The Raiders didn't even have to block it. They could have just sat there.
Right.
It seems low key, but real deep. But we're gonna bring it over to the next game. Jello, we'll start with you on this one. Seattle 26, 49ers 23. It was a hella close game, divisional game. Unfortunately, 49ers were not in, and Seattle already had that position locked. So how are you feeling on this game?
I mean, it's still showing struggles on how Seattle's going to perform in the playoffs at this point. I mean, Lockett went off this game, but I mean, we're still seeing those inconsistencies across the board, and that's not going to match up well with the teams that are going to be playing in the playoffs. So, I mean, they won, so I guess that's all that matters in the end of it. But when we look at how the team's performing and how everybody's doing across the field, I'm not liking what it's kind of like the Cardinals. They started off so strong, and it's been dropping off week by week. And so if they continue to do that, it's not going to take them far in the playoffs, as much as I'd love to see Russell win another ring at that point. But I think it's going to be an early exit for him. I don't like what I'm seeing on the defense outside. Jamal Adams is questionable now, so who knows if he's going to play. And then, I mean, with everything else offensively, I mean, if they can't get DK and Lockett in that game all game, they're not going to win.
In a groove, yeah, because it doesn't seem like they're in a groove, bro. And like the Six saying, the Seahawks are overrated. Seems
and
like
they beat the 49ers by 3 with a third-string quarterback. Like,
dude, and he did good, 273 yards.
No interceptions.
Yeah,
no interceptions.
I'll take it. Russell Wilson's 181.
Yep.
One more touchdown. You know what I mean? It's not much difference. But Tony, we'll swing it over to you on this one. Seahawks 26 at 49ers 23.
Sorry. I'm freaking tired. Jello said that Lockett went off, and that's an understatement, in my opinion. He had half of the yards that Russell Wilson threw. Half of them. By himself. So, DK Metcalf only had 3 catches for 21 yards. Tyler Lockett had 12 for 90. And like you said, Eric, Bethard played pretty well for a third-string quarterback. However, we have to take into consideration that it's the worst pass defense in the league.
Very true.
I've been saying San Francisco was a sleeper, and I think if they had they had Jimmy G healthy, I think it'd be a different story.
There's some Jimmy G, maybe some Bosa. Like, shit, you give him those two players, and it's a different story on offense and defense for that team.
I don't think they finished 6-10 either. So
I completely agree with that. Seattle 26, 49ers 23. I can honestly agree with Tony on that. Tyler Lockett, Jello. I think that's complete understatement on Tyler Lockett, or overstatement on Tyler Lockett. He only had 90 yards on 12 receptions. You fit 2 touchdowns into that 90 yards. I mean, I'm not going to say bad game, but I'm not going to say great game either. I think I need to see at least 100 yards from a receiver to call it a good game, a great game, especially in a game where you only win by 3 against a third-string quarterback, like you said. So, I don't know. The Seahawks, they got a tough game coming up this week. I don't know. They definitely need to get in rhythm with DK and Tyler Lockett like they were at the beginning of this year if they want anything to do with that Super Bowl championship. Because that's the only reason they're there right now is because of the way they played in the first half of the season. They played lights out. We had Russell Wilson for MVP, all kinds of shit. I forgot about Russell Wilson for MVP. That's how horrible that team has been the second half of the season. So they definitely need to step it up. I'm with both you guys on that. It'll be interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs. But we'll go on to the next game, also another tough game. I think both teams had their starters playing, so there's really no excuse for Titans only winning by 3 on this one. Tony, swing it to you on this one first. Titans 41 at Texans 38. What do you got to say on this one?
This was a cool game to watch because Derrick Henry broke the record. Not the record. I'm sorry. He broke 2,000 yards rushing in this game.
1,000 yards.
He's the 8th player to do it. He's in a group with OJ. You can take that however you want to take that.
OJ's a fucking legend.
But dude's just an animal. It was a fun game to watch. Too close for comfort, and Derrick Henry's face was really funny when he thought that field goal went in. Yeah. He was like, overtime? Are you kidding me?
He's like, man, I don't know if I can hit 2,100, man. I can't do it. I've seen this meme, and it was like a picture of Derrick Henry and a picture of Todd Gurley, and it was like $600 stimulus check, $2,000 stimulus check. And it's only because fucking Todd Gurley had 606 yards on the year. Had me fucking weak, bro. But Jello, let's swing it over to you on this one. Titans 41, Texans 38.
I mean, this came down to the wire, so it's another team with defensive struggles in the Titans at that point. So, but their offense is firing on all cylinders. It's not like what we saw in last year's playoffs with the Titans, where Tannehill had 88 yards and Henry's going off. They're going off on both ends of the ball. So, in the running and the pass game at that point. So, it's that one where I like this offense enough, and they did what they did in this game, and that kicker didn't even know half his team and just won him the game. So, it's going to come down to that. And this is the thing. It's just like the Texans have a great offense. It's their defense that helps them lose games. They've had a lot of high-scoring games, so I'm not surprised by them going off in this game. So, but I like what Henry's doing. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis is still that. I guess you can't really call him a sleeper anymore, but that solid receiver on the other end. So if that line can hold up and the defense can do just enough, I think they could run away with it. So it's good. It was another one of those fun games, though. High scoring. You didn't know what was going to happen. Came right down to the wire. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better game at that point.
I agree. Titans 41, Texans 38. 3-point win. They got to do more. They're a better team than they come out some weeks. So I definitely think in playoffs they need to click the on switch on and leave it on the whole time. But I do want to speak on Jay Moneytime and little J6 comment. Jay Moneytime said Derrick Henry is unstoppable. They are an underdog, but I can see them going all the way. They're not an underdog to me. They might not be like the best team or the team that has the most odds to me, but I definitely don't think they're an underdog. Think about the team that they're playing this week. This is probably one of my favorite matchups this week, and I'm going to talk about it right now just because it's the Titans. The Titans play the Ravens this week in the wild card. Last year in the AFC, I think it was the divisional round, they played the Ravens, knocked them out. Had people talking about Lamar's not playoff bound and Lamar can't do it in playoffs, yada, yada, yada. This season, they played each other. I came on this podcast. All three of us came on this podcast, and I had the Ravens. And I said there's no way that they go out against the Titans like that after the playoff loss. They lost to the Titans again. So now you're seeing the Ravens in playoff mode. You're getting the Titans in playoff mode. They're off of 2 wins against the Ravens. It's anybody's ball game, and it'll be a great game to see. It'll be a great game to see. It's one of my favorites. Jello, you got anything else to say about that one?
I mean, it's going to be crazy. I mean, I like the Titans, but they are the underdogs against the Ravens. The Ravens are like a 3.5-point favorites. So,
yeah, it'll for sure be.
They're the underdogs. So,
yeah. I'm fucking hype about that game, too. But we'll swing it over to the next game. Jello, we'll talk to you first about this one. And this is a deep one. This one gets a little personal on a lot of levels, whether you're an NFC East fan or not. This goes against all football rules, in my opinion. Washington 20 versus Eagles 14. I'm just going to let you take it. What do you have to say on this one?
So this is my biggest thing. I get teams wanting to drop draft spots, and this loss dropped them from 9 to 6 in the draft order. But this the thing, the way Peterson did it and how stupid he sounded afterwards trying to explain it. He pulled Hurts out for Nate Sudfeld because he wanted to see what his third string quarterback could do. Why do you do that when you're down 3 points and you have a chance to win the game? Like, if you win, you're at 9th at that point, but you lose and you're at 6th. Jalen Hurts walked off the field and it wasn't really shown all over, but when he got pulled for Sudfeld, he said, "Fuck this team." So now Wentz is out. You just pissed off what you were hoping would be your future quarterback at the end of the year because he could have won it. He scored both of their touchdowns with those rushing touchdowns. He could have won him the game, and they just go out and pull him out. So, I mean, dumbest thing by Peterson. Peterson needs to be out. The man can't even speak afterwards. Like, you don't get away with doing that and saying, "Oh, I was pulling him out for Nate Sudfeld, who last played 3 years ago." Like, that's not how that works, especially when you almost won the game. So they blew it. And this is what I said for the Giants at that point. The Eagles gave the Redskins the playoff spot. It was easy as that. They did. So, and Sudfeld didn't even play well. He fumbled the ball and then looked to make sure nobody was going to hit him hard enough and then decided to run after it after it was already picked up. So Peterson's dumb. Eagles don't know what they're doing. I mean, hopefully Jalen Hurts doesn't want out because then they're really screwed.
He's too young to want anything. Yeet! Get his ass out. You, man. Washington 20 versus the Eagles 14. How you feeling on this one?
I like the tank, honestly. I really do. I like the tank. I do. I don't really care what part of the game you tank. You got to show off Jalen Hurts' talent. He got to play pretty well for a couple halves, or for a half. I think he got taken out in the 3rd or 4th, right?
I think third, yeah.
In the 3rd, yeah. So, I mean, I like the tank. I really do. And I think they're going to get a good draft pick out of it that's going to go well with Jalen Hurts next year. Because you know Carson Wentz isn't going to get that spot. So I like it. I like the tank. Not much else to say. I also like Ron Rivera making the playoffs when he has cancer. Or had.
Yeah, he beat it. He beat it.
He beat it. But he was getting IVs at halftime in between games so he could keep playing. So it's a cool story, and I'm all about the cool story. So
hell yeah.
Washington 20, Eagles 14. Because we're going to get into this topic a little bit later, I'm not going to speak on the whole tanking subject yet. I'll save my comments for a little bit later. But I do want to say I completely agree with that. I think Washington's probably the most deserving team in the NFC East to make it. They have the D-line that's probably the best in the NFC East. And like you said, Ron Rivera getting IVs at halftime, it just shows that he wants it. They had fucking 3 or 4 quarterbacks. They just released their starting first-round draft pick from last year. Like, they're resilient. You know what I mean? Like, they can go through some shit, obviously. So, shout out Washington football team. And they had no name. So, I don't know. For them to do it with all the shit on their back this year, all the pressure, I don't know, man. Washington, they went out there this year in the 2020 COVID year and did that. They did that. So, we'll see what they can do this week against the Bucs, though. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the 2021 Wild Card Weekend games. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first Wild Card Weekend of the fucking Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. All right, so we're going to get right into the games. No, I was trying to find them. I kept clicking on the wrong damn picture.
I have them if you want me to say it.
I got them right here. These are the Saturday games. So, Tony, we'll come to you on this one. This is a little old school. I feel like we're picking our games again. Colts 11-5 at Bills 13-3. Who you got in that one?
Bills. Player to watch. Josh Allen against that Colts defense, baby. I think he's actually going to play well against them.
Woo-wee, it'll be good. Jealous swinging to you. Colts 11-5 at Bills 13-3. Who do you got?
I'm going Bills by 17 on this one. Look how many points they put up with Josh Allen playing one half against the Dolphins defense. Look at what they did. 59 points. Josh Allen's going to beat these kids up left and right. Stephon Diggs is 5th for the MVP race right now, if you didn't know. So, I mean, look out for those guys to go off, and this is a defense to do it against. They don't need the rush. They don't need Singletary or Zach Moss out there balling. They got Josh Allen and some great wideout receivers. And so, I mean, just watch out for that. Josh Allen's going to beat him up. I think this is going to go, I mean, it could go crazy. So I'm going 17, but it could go more. I think Allen's going to have like four passing touchdowns and well over 300 yards.
It'll be interesting to see. Colts 11-5 at Bills 13-3. I definitely got the Bills as well, but I definitely don't think it's by 13 or 17 or whatever you said. I give them a 6 point. I give them 2 field goals. 2 field goals. I give them a 6-point win on this one. The Colts defense is good, and it was a battle for them to get in the playoffs, so I definitely think they're ready. But this Bills team is, I personally think is the best AFC team in this matchup in the whole playoffs. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see some starters play again for this Bills squad and see what they can actually do when they're putting their team in fucking gear 6. You know what I mean? Because they were in they had backups and starters and all that mixed in, and they were just running shit last weekend, and they still beat the hell out of Miami. So I'm excited to see what the Bills do. Player to watch, definitely Stephon Diggs. He's going to go off, like Jello said, 5th in the MVP race. This isn't the Heisman, though, so he's not going to win it. But I definitely think that he's going to be the player to watch. They don't have no one that can guard him. That's all I'm going to say. But we'll swing it over to the next one. Tony, coming to you first on this one. Rams 10-6 at Seattle 12-4. What you got to say?
All right. I took the Seahawks last time. And this time I'm going to do it again. So I'm going against LA. Losing to the Jets, I just can't. I don't trust you. I'm sorry. I'm going to rock with Russell Wilson on this one. I think it's going to be a tough game for him, but I think he can figure something out. I got the Seahawks by 3. My player to watch. I'm going to say Lockett again. DK is going to get locked down, so Lockett's going to be open.
We're going to swing it back 1 second. EW8045 says, don't forget the Colts have plenty of weapons also. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying compared to the Bills, that's like saying Miami didn't have any weapons last week. They do, but it didn't match up.
Hey, your dad's in here. That's
like, don't make me go there. Please don't make me go there.
That's a sensitive
the thing with the Colts there is their weapons are highly inconsistent. T.Y. Hilton didn't have a consistent year. Pascal didn't have a consistent year. Jonathan Taylor's been the only real consistency across the board. But when you look at, I know Jay hates me for saying Matt Milano will shut down Jonathan Taylor. If they shut down Taylor, they shut down this game. That's just how it's going to go. They got weapons, but it's just like the Seahawks. Amazing players, but if you can't be consistent, you're not going to win.
I can see that. That's real shit, Jello. But actually, we'll keep it with you, Jello. Rams 10-6 at Seattle 12-4. Who do you got on this one?
So I'm not going off this game by offense. It's just not going to work. Very inconsistent offenses here, like I just said. So I'm going by defense, and I give this to the Rams. I don't think it's going to be an exciting game to watch, but I'm going Rams by 10, and I just think that sheer defense and defensive scoring will play a factor in here. And that's the thing. If they can shut down DK, like DK got shut down last week, I get you have Lockett, but the Rams played really well against both those receivers. And Seattle's run game isn't there. And the Rams still have an amazing rush defense. So I'm going to give it to the Rams. I'm going to go Rams 10-0 on this one. Or actually,
I'm having flashbacks right now.
I'll give Seattle 3 points, but this is my thing. I love Russell Wilson. Don't get me wrong, but this defense knows how to just eat him up all game. And
I am having
the way he's
flashbacks,
gonna
Jello.
get hit.
I'm having
Just wait.
fucking flashbacks too,
Just wait.
Tony.
I'm having flashbacks.
I'm having
Jello.
flashbacks.
I feel like we already had this conversation on the exact date of 11/14. Okay, so we already had this conversation. We talked about this, I'm sorry, that's way too far back. That was the first contest.
It literally
Hang on.
was December, wasn't it?
Yeah. My bad. Let me find the game because I definitely remember having this conversation with you.
Didn't you switch your team?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
when I
then
took
let's,
my hoodie off.
It was the Kobe
And let's
episode.
see how that first game went.
Yeah, it was the Kobe episode we were
It
talking
was
about.
literally like 2 or 3 episodes ago. We had a conversation.
Yeah, we had this conversation, Jello. We've been through this. We
Just
already
wait.
know how this turns out.
Man, Rams 10-6
Rams win.
at Seattle 12-4. Jello, one thing I think you're forgetting is that they don't have Jared Goff this week. I think he's out one more week.
That's why I said it's not offensive. I said it's defensive. I don't give a shit really offensively. I think it comes down to defense. And Rams run circles around the Seahawks defense. And if they don't
On
have Jamal
20-9.
Adams, they're fucked.
I found
What?
it. 20-9.
And how'd the first game go? They both Goff played in both those games, so we don't have to include that for this next one.
That's
Look,
early
okay.
season. Let's talk
Look at
about the
defense.
game that's closest. Why are we talking about week 5?
And I want to say something too. I still think DK or Tyler Lockett burns the shit out of Jalen Ramsey in this game. I like Jalen
No
Ramsey.
way.
I think he's a good corner. There's no way he does it. Rams don't got it. Not this year. Not without some of their weapons. They definitely don't do it. Seattle will win by, I'm going to say 10-14. Go ahead and give it that goddamn spread. But I definitely think the Rams are going to drop this one. They're going to drop it.
And I'm going to keep going. I got 2 more things I want to talk about.
Please do.
In the 20-9 matchup, the Seattle Seahawks had 8 players in double-digit yards. 8 players. 3 of which were above 40. Tyler Lockett, David Moore, and DK Metcalf. Also, the Rams had Jared Goff. He threw 234 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So this is with a healthy Rams, and now we're talking about the Rams that are missing a team captain and your quarterback who's supposed to be able to be healthy and lead you into battle, but he's not going to be here. So, deja vu, Jello. Deja vu.
That's honestly.
That's why I said defensive scoring. Rams are number 1 in defensive scoring this year, so just
But
remember
the
that.
pass defense, the Seahawks have figured out the pass defense for the Rams. They figured it out.
Yeah, but all you have to do is
I
pressure
don't think they have as
Russell,
good
and that's why he makes mistakes, just like Brady.
with a backup. If you think the Rams are going to win, you are crazy. Just keep waiting, man. But we'll go on to the next one. Tony, coming right to you on this first one. Bucks 11-5 at Washington 7-9. Man, this should be kill them.
I want to make a bold take. I really do. And it's just because of Ron Rivera. It's not my feelings towards Tom Brady. I'm taking Washington only because I want to see Ron Rivera's story continue. I'm going to take them by 3. By 3. Maybe 1. I might say 1. It's nothing to do with my hate for Tom Brady, I promise you.
Try to keep my composure.
Few moments later.
His very first move as the executive was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Hey, I love this story. I'm a story guy. Okay? This is a Cinderella story type thing we got going on, and I love it.
Oh, wow. Justin, even Jay Moneytime says, I hope Brady loses. Okay, so you got Washington, a Ron Rivera story. I like it. I'm not even going to hate on it. But, Jello, before I put you on the screen, please, can you look at this game non-hater to Tom Brady? Like,
Yeah.
seriously. This
is how I looked at this game. This is not a hatred for Brady. This is going off sheer what has happened this season. So I am going Washington by 7. And this is the thing. It's not – people aren't calling this as big as an upset as they see, but we have to look at Brady down the line. when these pass rush defenses, when they get into the pocket where Brady is, not only is he leading the league in intentional groundings, but he has made the most mistakes when he is being rushed like that. He throws balls away. He can't throw down the field. There's receivers are too far down where he hasn't made it to him, and he's made those critical mistakes down the line. And so this isn't against Brady. This is just how good that defense is. So I give it to Washington. This defense wants it. Look at Chase Young. Just the hype behind it. They're out here to fight. But look at, I get where Tony's coming from with the Ron Rivera. Not only is it a great story for him, but his players want to fight for him coming into this. His players want to show him what's up.
But not. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect.
Continue, sorry.
All I gotta say is watch out for that Redskins defense. I'm not saying their pass defense is the greatest, but their rush defense makes up for it. And I think they will make Brady make mistakes. I'm not saying the Redskins offense is crazy by any means. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I think that just that front four alone is going to show Brady what's up. And all it takes, he's 43 years old. It doesn't take much to get hit. Chase Young is a huge human being. Get hit a couple times like that, you're going to freak out. You're going to throw the ball away. Mistakes get made. Chase Young's done that to a bunch of different quarterbacks this year. So what's going to keep Brady out of it besides his career at that point?
Bucks 11-5 at Washington 7-9. I'm about to fuck this topic all the way up. Tom Brady is gonna smoke the goddamn dog shit out of Washington. I look. I just want to put this comment up. I'm a Saints fan, and I'm saying Tom is going to kill them. I don't even need that comment to tell you guys, stop sleeping on Tom fucking Brady. It's Tom Brady, and it's Washington. I'm tired of all this Chase Young.
First of all,
Young.
don't you guys meet, because I didn't say nothing about Tom Brady.
My thing is, you guys keep counting him out of playoffs.
Man, because
Tom
Brady.
Time. Look, literally, it's playoff Tom. I'm saying, have you guys never watched this guy in playoffs?
In playoffs? There's your quote right there.
Have you guys? That might be facts. That might be facts on that one. But seriously, no, let me calm down and speak to you guys right. No, seriously, I don't know why you guys keep sleeping on Tom Brady in the playoffs. Is it him personally? Is it a new team? I don't know, and I don't care. Stop sleeping on Tom Brady. He's going to play a couple more years, even after this year. Everyone keeps telling me he's going to retire after this year. That's not going to happen. He's going to make a run to play in the Super Bowl in Tampa, where he lives, where he can literally win the Super Bowl and drive home 20 minutes to his house. That's something to play for, boy. And I'm telling you guys got to stop sleeping on this man. And this week should prove, like, when the score on Saturday night, because we're coming on Saturday night, and this game is on Saturday night. I am going to fucking come on here, and I'm going to tell you guys believe me about Tom Brady now? Like, straight up, he went off. He's going to go crazy on this team, straight up.
We're talking about the Washington team that knocked the Steelers off of their great start. So they're not a dog shit team. They're not.
I never said that. I never said Washington's dog shit.
Okay, but you're acting like they're the best team in the league. The Buccaneers are not the best team in the league. Washington has the type of defense that breaks down Tom Brady.
I'm going to say a bold take real quick. Buccaneers or Packers in the Super Bowl for the NFC?
Not Bucks.
Packers, yes. Bucks, no.
One of the two. It'll be them playing. I bet they will play. Mark my words. I don't want to get into it. I want to read some chat comments real quick. J Money Time said his old ass is dusty. This is his last year. This is Drew's year at day 6. You're crazy. Really, y'all think Washington is going to win? Come on. Too many weapons on Tampa. I completely agree with that, E-Dub. Brady is the
Mike
GOAT.
Evans is out, if I'm
Jay
not
said,
mistaken.
okay, they have like 4 more weapons at receiver without Mike Evans. That's the problem.
Mike Evans is his favorite receiver, though.
It's okay. AB, you look at AB getting into tune.
Bro,
He's starting to get really in tune with Tom.
No, you are, like I said, I've said this before. You are not allowed to talk about AB. You were dogging him early this year.
I made a public apology to this man. I can say whatever I want about him. It's on stream. I got it.
Throw up Lil J's last comment because that's how I feel towards you right now.
Eric, shut the fuck up, you clown. Because I said Packers are fucking Bucks. Jay, I feel really, really bad for you Saints fans, and I truly believe you guys deserve it. It's
It's gonna be Packers or Saints. I can't believe you said that.
It's not gonna happen, guys. Come on now. Let's agree about this. Let's just agree to disagree. Okay?
I agree that you were wrong.
We'll get into the next games. These games are on Sunday, so this is actually NFL's first ever double triple header games, however the hell you want to call that, whatever the fuck it is. But there's 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. But we'll get into the Sunday games right now, starting with Sunday morning. Tony, we'll start with you, and this is my personal favorite game of all of Sunday. All of Sunday, all of Saturday, I don't care what it is. Wild card weekend, this game is what it's about. Ravens 11-5 at Titans 11-5. How you feeling?
All right. So I've been saying that the Ravens are starting to look better. Lamar looks back to last year's Lamar. All of that. And you can kind of tell where I'm about to go with this. I'm going to take the Ravens, and here's why. Derrick Henry is going to get tired eventually, right? He's run 2,000 yards. He's going to get tired. I'm not saying he's going to have a horrible game, but he's not going to put up a 223-yard game this week. He's not. He's going to put up 150 yards, which is still good. It's still good, but it's not Derrick Henry in that instance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm taking Lamar. Lamar's in MVP form. He wants revenge, and this is going to be such a fun game to watch.
Completely.
This is the best game of Wild Card Weekend.
Thank you for saying that. I didn't want to feel alone on that because this game is going to be outstanding to watch.
Yeah.
Jello, coming to you on this one. Ravens 11-5 at Titans 11-5. How you feeling on this one?
So I'm just going to bring this up since I know we're just going to bring up Baker in this situation. Look what Baker and that Browns offense did to that Ravens defense. Ravens barely pulled it out with Justin Tucker, who just happens to be the best kicker in the league. And if the Browns, who as much as people hate them, can do that to the Ravens, what are the Titans going to do with a consistent receiving core, a consistent quarterback, and the most consistent running back on the planet right now? Henry did it to him last year. He's not going to get tired. Look at how the shape he's in. He is not getting tired. If he did, he would have got tired 1,000 yards ago at that point. The man doesn't stop. He ran well over 200 yards again, and it's like he didn't even break a sweat at that point. Like, I mean, they're going to run all over this. I don't think this is going to be a big defensive game.
I'm telling you right now, Derrick Henry doesn't top 150.
I say he goes over 175.
What do you want to bet on that? Because I'm willing to bet on that.
I mean, we'll figure something out. I think A.J. Brown goes over 100 yards as well. Marcus Peters hasn't been living up to the hype like he did when he was on the Rams. Their pass defenses are great. I mean, it's the Ravens at this point. If we're talking about inconsistencies, that's the Ravens. I get they're doing better now, but the Titans are going to run away with this. Once again, this offense is so crucial across the board.
Okay, look at the screen right now. I got at least one person in chat agreeing with me. We're going to find out who Eric agrees with here. But the Ravens are in full swing. And full swing, Lamar Jackson is dangerous. And honestly, the only quarterback that I would trust to go take over the Lions, and I would take the Lions in a bet, Lamar Jackson right now. Lamar Jackson's an animal. Absolute animal.
I'm not saying he's not. All I'm saying is the Titans offense beats out the Ravens offense any day of the week.
Why do I feel like we've had this conversation already this year?
Okay, so
haven't I been pretty right about the Titans so far this year?
I want to get into this now. So Ravens 11-5 at Titans 11-5. And to answer your question, Tony, we have got into this.
Okay.
We did get into this a little bit earlier this year when they played, and I bet Ravens. And Titans ended up coming out with it again. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and go Titans this week just off of track record. And I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, Tony. I think the Ravens in full swing are the most dangerous team in the NFL outside of the Chiefs.
You're contradicting yourself though, because you're saying that the Saints, if they see the Bucks, it's not going to be the same because they've already played twice this year. But now you're saying, based off of track record, the Titans take this one.
But let me finish. I don't think the Ravens are in full swing. To be real, they're so inconsistent to me. They come out and either lose a weird game or they stomp the hell out of a bad team. Like it's not. Nothing's impressive from them. Last week they had 450 yards rushing. That's nothing new to the Ravens. They run the ball.
So you're telling me that a Ravens team that's now won 5 games in a row, 5 games in a row against subpar teams. So I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not bashing the Ravens. I just said them in full swing is the most dangerous team outside of the Chiefs to me. But I personally right now don't see them in full swing because they only run the ball. They have not proven their passing game to me at all this year. And you can't go into playoffs, and especially in the playoffs, and just run. It just doesn't work to me. So in my opinion, I got Titans by 7. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. But I do think this is going to be the Titans game, and I think the Titans will show why they're the better team. But this is one where I feel like I'm kind of on shot 3, where this could come back and bite me in my ass. You know what I mean? I'm not taking anything against the Ravens. I just personally think the Titans got this one in the bag.
And I see what you're saying. Now that I went back and saw the teams that he was doing those things against, it kind of makes sense. But you're letting Lamar Jackson get into a groove. And this is the reigning MVP. You're letting this man get into a groove. You're letting him figure out what's been going wrong all season against subpar teams. Dallas Cowboys, Bengals, horrible teams, Jaguars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're letting him get in repetitions that he hasn't been able to get in because they had kind of a rough schedule there for a little bit.
That's facts.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think you let Lamar Jackson get into full swing. I think he is. You don't think he is. We'll find out.
We'll see. Like we both said, this is the best game of all wildcard week. This one could go either fucking way.
I got
to ask you real quick.
Ravens
So,
by 10 from Little J in chat.
Okay.
all right. So with the Ravens wins at that point, how many wins do they have with over 500 teams this year? I'm curious. I really don't know. So I'm just curious on how that matches up because losses compared to over 500 teams and wins to over 500 teams. Because I know
Probably 4 or 5.
they have the one against the Browns, but
Kinda
outside that, I
right
don't know.
How many losses or wins?
Wins.
Wins?
Yeah.
Both. Yeah, we'll go wins against over 500.
Okay.
This is easily the best game of the fucking week, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm loving this game for real.
Yep.
And the next game should be funny too.
I just give it to how, but I think this Titans team has come together so much better than they even did last year. When it comes to Corey Davis wasn't a factor. Jonnu Smith hadn't been a big thing last year as well. So
To answer your
my
question,
boy AJ is about to ball out.
I agree. AJ and Corey Davis.
what was the Giants' record?
Like 8 and no, like 7 and 9.
Okay, so then 5. 5
And
wins against
what
over
teams were
500
those?
teams throughout the whole season.
Okay.
That's like the Browns. They
So
beat the
5 out
Browns.
of what?
Wasn't
They beat
16.
the Browns by a field goal.
No, not true. So the first game, 38-6. The second game, 47-42.
Yeah, I know that game.
47-42.
Oh, that's right, because they got the safety at the end. That's right. That's
Yep.
everything.
Yeah.
But and I think you see a difference. Like, I'm not going to get anything far into it, but when you look at the Browns at the beginning of the year and to where they're at now, I think it's different. But that's not taking anything away from them. I'm just getting at the fact that how they match up with the Titans is why I'm choosing the Titans. It's once again, I love Lamar. I've said this a million times. I want to see him do great. I just don't think this is the game for him, which sucks because I want to see him go to the playoffs and win. But these matchups that he's getting, and it's not even really his fault. It comes down to his defense, who's not only not played well, but been hurt across the board as well. So, I mean, it's once
So
again,
they've only
when you give him
played the-
Sunday, we'll see at this point.
Yeah.
I give it to you guys on that
That's-
one. So.
That's true. So Ravens Titans have only played once this year, and the Titans won by 6.
Yep. But last year in playoffs, the Titans knocked the Ravens off as well. So, like you said, I don't know. I'm scared of teams who lose twice. You lose twice to a team and then see them in playoffs, I'm usually going to the team who lost. But this week is not one of those weeks. I don't know why I can't feel that way. I'm just not really – I don't know, like E-Dub and like J Money Time and like you guys – or like you, Tony, you're saying, I'm just not threatened by the Ravens this year like I was last year.
Your dad's saying that the Titans defense is soft.
I know. I've seen that. He said the Titans defense is soft. So
Kobe meme. He said soft.
Soft. You're soft like wet rice. But we're about to get into this next one, and this is probably one of my weirdest games of the week. I'm not even going to front with you. Bears 8-8. They slipped their ass into playoffs some way, somehow they did it. I don't know how. I don't really care, but I'm glad that they play these guys, the Saints. 12-4. They're in the Superdome. Jay, I had nothing against the Saints, man. They're a good team. I definitely have them winning this game by 14, but they're not my top 2 teams in the NFC. So I don't know, the way the things have been going for them the last 3 years, this could be their year. Me personally, don't think it is. But I do got the Saints this week. We'll have to see who they play next week to see who I bet on. But I got the Saints this week by 14. I don't think the Bears can hang.
Jay said skip Jello.
he's ready for this shit.
Yo, go straight to Jello, bro. Go straight to Jello.
I'm fucking weak. For everyone who doesn't know the inside joke, Jello, like 7 podcasts ago, said his dream Super Bowl this year was Bills and Bears.
I said that's what I hope for. That would be legit.
Oh my God, Jello! But we're gonna go right to you on this next one. Bears 8-8 at Saints 12-4. Who do you got?
Any given Sunday, I'm going Bears 17-14. So I have them winning by 3 by a kick. Yep, you guys can hate on me all you want. I'm sticking with it. I'm not going to say one thing and do another thing the next week. I'm going Bears in this game. Nothing against Breeze. This once again, it's going to be a defensive game, and I think the Bears match up. Who wants it more? We've seen this a lot this year. Bears didn't do it as well against the Packers, but Rodgers is in his MVP year. Breeze is still coming off that injury. We don't know what's happening with that run game. What's all going to be there? So we don't know for sure if Kamara's playing. I don't know if anything's been released, but I give it Bears by 3 on this one. I mean, you can hate me all you want, but I'm not the only one picking that. So just look through everything first. So you got a Bears team that's fighting. It's just like the Browns. They haven't been in a minute. They're fighting for it. We still forget Trubisky was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He has it in him. And Montgomery at running back is the number 2 player out of the 2019 class at this point. The man can play. He knows how to read those screens. I think he can play the Saints defense very well. So I'm not saying anyone's getting blown out. It's going to be close, but I got to give it to him. I mean, I'm sticking with them. So, I mean, it might bite me in the ass later, but I got to go with what my gut's saying at this point. So
you're on complete crack. Tony, coming to you on this one, man. Bears 8-8 at Saints 12-4. What do you got in this one?
I'm a man of my word, Jay. I'm going Saints by 21. Who dat?
Look at this. Not a bad Super Bowl for 1987. That's fast as fuck. Both of those teams were cold as fuck back in the day. That shit has me weak. You and the Bears fans, the only one thinking that, Jello. That's what Jay said. That was probably one of the funniest I've ever seen. Jalen said, "Who that, man?" It'll be a great game. I definitely think the Saints are going to mop this one. But let's move on to the Sunday night game. Tony, will stick with you on this one. Browns 11-5 at Steelers 12-4. They just played each other, 2-point game, but it was with backups. So how are you feeling on this one?
Honestly, I'm taking the Browns. I said it at the beginning of the show because I thought we were doing this already. I'm taking the Browns. They gotta figure out a few things. They gotta find a couple bigger bodies, maybe faster bodies to get a helmet on. But at the end of the day, I think the Browns can take this one, upset the Steelers, piss off Steeler Nation. I want to see some Steelers fans burning some terrible towels.
Like, fuck you, Big Ben. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, man. I'm going to take this one next just because of what Justin's saying. Justin's saying, Steelers, my guy Mike Tomlin got them in the zone. Agreed. My vote for a coach of the year. Mike Tomlin is going to go crazy. Browns 11-5 at Steelers 12-4. I'm going to stick with my train, and it's not even the Steelers train. It's the hating Baker Mayfield train. I don't fuck with him. I don't think he can win. He's definitely not going to solidify anything. And in my opinion, if he comes out in this game and gets stomped into the ground, and I'm not saying loses. If he loses, it is what it is. But if he loses bad, he has proven to me that he's a game manager, not a game changer, not a franchise quarterback. He's proven to me that he's a game manager quarterback. If he can come out here and manage games and get in the playoffs and come in here and get stomped, I definitely don't think that he's gonna do anything with it. But Jello, we'll come to you on this one.
Hang on.
This chat up. Jay said Browns, no cap.
Thank you.
No cap. I mean,
So coming to you on this one.
You gotta look at this. So look at this one. How bad did me and Tony disagree on the Steelers at this point? And now we are agreeing. Browns are taking this game. The Steelers' offense has dropped off hard. You talk with other teams being as inconsistent. This is the most inconsistent team. Ben has made more mistakes than anybody. The man cannot run. The man's got an arm, but if you can't get out of the pocket, you can't move against a defense like the Browns have with those few guys getting in and out of there. It's going to be game over. I mean, the Browns lose their head coach, who's been their play caller, but I think that works out better for him with Stefanski out. With the new guy calling plays, I think we're going to see stuff we haven't seen from the Browns. And look at this. The records are one game apart. And look at the close games the Steelers won and the close games the Browns lost. I count them as equal teams in this, record aside. So I give it to the Browns. The Browns are going to take this one. Once again, you can take the dog out of the fight, but you cannot take the fight out of the dog.
Who's the
There's no
dog?
team to lose. What?
Are the Browns the dog?
The Browns'
The
mascot
dog
is literally a dog, bro.
No,
Yeah,
Baker
he's the
Mayfield is a
dog
fucking
Brown.
cat. He's a pussy.
Look for Nick Chubb. You say you've been hyping Nick Chubb all year at this point, and I'm hyping him up right now. I get they're going to have Hayward. I get they're going to have Watt. But this team wants it. The Steelers have shown they don't. Like, that has already been shown. The difference is one game. This isn't like it's a 6-7 team, or 6-10 team going up against a 12-4 team. It's 11-5 and 12-4. The Browns got this. They do. It's one of those games. ESPN was big on the Browns for this one, and I like what they were saying. Overall, they got this. I'm not saying the Browns defense is better than the Steelers defense, but I think the Browns offense is just better than the Steelers offense to get them the W in this game. Head coach doesn't matter. I don't think that matters for the Browns. I really think it doesn't at this point.
E-Dub also said Miami was going to win.
That's facts, but
Yeah.
how do you guys not put head coaches into matter? Like, head coaches don't matter.
I
I'm
mean,
not
they
saying
do,
he
but you
doesn't
have an
matter, but I'm
offensive
saying-
and defensive coordinator for a reason. Those are the
And they're
guys
good
calling your
play
plays.
callers.
Bro, Baker won by 2 points last week against his backups team. If you think that the starters weren't watching him, like, bruh, if we play him, we're going to tear his ass up. And
Do
they
you really think they were going 100% at that point? Like, you could tell raw. And this is the thing, it's the fight for this game. They made it to what they wanted to at this point, and they got to fight more than the Steelers do. Ben does not care. Ben has already got rings. If he retires, he's fine.
Are we
Nobody's really
forgetting
gonna-
that they just lost to the Jets in a win and in situation? Oh, and you're what? Are we forgetting that the Browns are not as good as you guys are saying that they are?
And then are we saying the Steelers didn't also lose to the Bengals against Ryan Finley with all their starters and the Redskins? This is what I'm
That's
saying.
fact. I'm not saying the Steelers are great. I'm saying the Steelers are better than the Browns.
I don't think so. You could call it first 5 games of the season, but look at the change. The Steelers got worse. The Browns got better. That's how I look at this. So coming into this, I think they got this. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I think that they have enough in them to do this. I'm not saying Baker's the next, Aaron Rodgers at that point, but he is good enough to get them where they need to. He's done it before. So I'm giving it to him.
And Justin
the man
said
has set his own records this year. Yeah,
I don't know.
But still,
it'll be a big game.
I'm not saying I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be one of those bigger games. But I know I like this Browns team. I really do. And this is even less hate against the Steelers at that point. Like, I've hyped their defense all year. It's just I go off the facts. You know me, I'm stats. The mistakes that are made on the end of the ball. And Baker made more mistakes at the beginning, less mistakes now, where Ben has started to make more and more mistakes. And figuring out Big Ben isn't hard because he can't move. If you get to him, if you can get to him in 3 seconds, you're good to go.
Baker is trash, bro.
Steelers still lead the league with most drop passes as well, so we'll let that sink in there.
Game manager. But we're gonna get right into our next thing, bro. NFL's scratching the surface. Sports news. Tony, we'll come to you first on the first topic, man. Doug Peterson on benching Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter. He said, I was coaching to win. So the question to you, man, is are you surprised by the benching on his part?
No. It was a tank, and as a head coach, you don't just come out to the press and say, yeah, we're tanking. You don't do that. So, yeah, he's going to say he was coaching to win, but don't be surprised. Week 1, Jalen Hurts suits up next year and starts for that offense.
I can see it. Jello, swinging it to you, man. Doug Peterson on benching Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter. He said, I was coaching to win. So the question to you, man, is are you surprised on the benching of Jalen Hurts on his behalf?
Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. I mean, when I said it, the responses were stupid after the game. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I get you're not going to say you tanked the game, but everybody already knows. Like, it's not like Jalen Hurts was doing bad. It's not like Jalen Hurts, couldn't get points up on the board. He got 2 rushing touchdowns. He was on the field ready to give them the lead at that point. Like, he was ready to do it. And then you bring in a quarterback who hasn't played for a reason, made 4 mistakes in his first 5 snaps at that point. Literally, like I said, he fumbled the snap. It looked like on purpose at that point. He looked up, saw people running, and decided not to go for it till afterwards. And he ran at it like he was a grandma chasing her wheelchair at that point. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. He moved slow, didn't want to do it. Like, it's just how it was. Like, Doug Peterson is not the guy. He got lucky Nick Foles was able to pull it out and win him a Super Bowl at that point. I don't put it on him. And this is where I said head coaches don't matter. You could pull Peterson out of this Eagles organization, and they would do much better. I mean, you could say I was coaching to win. This is just bullshit at that point. You don't want to piss off players like Jalen Hurts. I get he's young, but the younger the player, the more opinionated we see. We see it a lot of times at that point. And I think, at one point, if Wentz wants to stay and Jalen figures out he can go somewhere else, he could force the trade. Keep Wentz in his big contract, get rid of me. You're not losing out on money, and just get rid of me. If he doesn't want to play, he can just sit out. He is good enough to where another team at one point could pick him up. It's happened before, and it's the thing. If it's happened once, it could happen again. So I guess it's more on the crazier end of what might happen, but he could have won him the game. I get it. I get you on a 6-round draft spot. Even at 9, you could have got something else. You could have traded your spot and Wentz to get a higher spot. That's all I'm saying. So you could have still won the game, went out on a high note, traded Wentz and something to even like the Jets or a team like that who wants to trade their pick. So, I don't like it. I really don't. This pissed me off, and I hate the Eagles at that point. So, shit.
The tank's a tank, man. They're not the first team to do it.
No, I know.
They're
We've seen
not
that
the
bad
first
this
team to
year.
do it.
with the Jets.
Dude, you don't have a chance to make playoffs. You might as well tank and get a better draft pick. Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
Look, I'm gonna say right now that's the reason I'm glad that Dallas didn't win against the Giants this week, is because that would have set me the fuck over the edge. If we would have had a chance to win and they're like, yo, Jalen, sit down, I would have fucking punched my TV, bro.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I'm telling Giants and Giants fans. You have 16 games. You shouldn't have to depend on another team in the NFL
That's
to
very
do the job for you.
That's very true. I'm just saying, in the situation, if I was put in that situation, I would be completely upset. But I understand what you're saying, though. I agree with that.
Well, you have Giants. You have Giants players tweeting about it instead of doing what they're supposed to do. You see, you didn't make the playoffs. Don't be tweeting about the game. Go get your ass in the gym and shut up.
So my thing is I was reading reports and stuff like that off ESPN.com, and they were saying that there was a couple Eagles players that like had to be held back from putting hands on Doug Peterson. So it wasn't just Giant players that were mad about that. There were certain players that felt like they should play until the end, whether they was like Tank or whatever. Like you fucking play. You know what I mean? And them seeing their head coach be like, "Yeah, we're not gonna play. We're gonna kind of fuck this up." I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to play for no bitch ass head coach like that. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is if that's the way you're gonna run stuff. But I personally wouldn't want to play for someone like that.
If Peterson has a job, that'll be our answer. If Peterson's still the head coach next year, it's because he was told by upper management to tank that game. And if Peterson gets fired, then we know that was just a poor decision, and he should not have done that.
I would be pissed. But we're going to go on to the next topic. Jello, we'll start with you on this one. Bruce Arians, coach of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he said Tom Brady totally exceeded expectations for the playoff-bound Bucs. So my question to you is, are you impressed by Tom Brady's 40th touchdown pass and his win over Atlanta and what he's done this year in Tampa Bay?
So this is my big thing with this at this point with Tom Brady is against good teams, he did not play well. Like, I'm not going to count what he did to the Falcons and what he did to the Lions as he exceeded expectations. Like, look how many people have already beaten him this year at that point. Like, it's just how it is. But going up against teams with good defenses, he's not going to do well. The Falcons and the Lions have two of the worst rated defenses in the league across the board. So, of course, you're going to get touchdowns on teams like that. You're going to get more catches against players who can't play. I mean, neither of them even have their starters at that point. So I'll put my hatred for Brady outside of this at this point. This is going straight off how he's played this year. Like he has weapons, and they should have been a lot more than 11-5 at this point. Like with the weapons he has, I get Godwin being hurt, but a big thing is too, I don't think he's exceeded expectations. I think he hasn't done enough. He complained for years about getting the weapons he has for Tampa Bay, and he hasn't been able to do enough with them at that point. So I don't think he has. Arians just trying to hype him up and get him into that mode, but I really think he hasn't. And that's just how he's played this year. This isn't what he's done with the Patriots. It's straight off how he's done this year.
So as a Tom Brady hater, you think that he should have thrown more than 40 touchdowns this year?
I'm not saying that 40 touchdowns isn't good, but he should have thrown more touchdowns against the better teams. I get you have 4 or 5 touchdowns against teams like the Lions. For me, it's touchdowns aside, it's the schedule at that point. If you can go out and throw those 4 or 5 touchdowns against a great Saints defense and teams like that, I will give you the respect. I don't care what quarterback this is at that point. That's a huge thing on that point. If you can do it against a Lions defense, I get that. That's supposed to happen. Their record is their record for a reason. When you're coming like Falcons, Lions, I want to see you do it against the Saints, the Pack. He did that. He had the one good game against the Packers, but I think that was the only big one against those good teams. All his big games, yardage and touchdown wise, were against poor under 500 teams this year. So, I mean, that's where I'm getting at with it. 40 touchdowns is great, but it's how those touchdowns got spread out in those games is another big thing for me at that point. Like, look at Rodgers. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. Rodgers had thrown a lot of touchdowns, more touchdowns than they had punts this year, and he played some insane teams this year. So that's really what I'm getting at with it. Is if we hold one quarterback to that standard, we got to hold them all. So I get it. Brady had 40 touchdowns, but they played a lot of shitty teams where he excelled at, where he didn't against teams that were actually contenders.
You saying that we have to hold one quarterback accountable for that, but not another. I remember literally 2 years ago when Pat Mahomes hit 40 fucking touchdowns, they were shitting themselves because he was so young. Tom Brady, 43, hitting 40-plus touchdowns. So I don't know. I think that shit's impressive, but
what I'm saying is I'm not saying the 40 isn't impressive. It's how they got spread out, which isn't exceeding expectations. That might be meeting expectations, but for the caliber quarterback he is and coming in with the weapons he has at that point, if they would have been more spread out against those better teams, I would give him credit because that means he took some of the best defenses in the league, was still able to manipulate them and beat them. But we look at the Saints game, he could not do that. In that second Saints game, he could not throw one touchdown in that game. And I get the Lions, you come out, you beat them, you got 47 points. I get it. That's the Lions. I'm talking about teams who actually were there to play. And that's where I'm getting at with it. That's meeting expectations. You're supposed to beat teams like that. You're supposed to throw 4 touchdowns on it. It's the games like the Saints, your games like your Packers, those better teams where that's where you're like, those 4 touchdowns are great because you did it against some of the best defenses in the league. So I'm not discrediting it. His 40 touchdowns in total, they should have just been against those better teams. And I would give him all the credit. If he came out and beat the Saints and did all that, I would give him credit. But scoring 47 points on the Lions and scoring 3 points against the Saints is where I'm getting at when it comes to touchdowns.
I get it. Jay Moneytown said he's tired of Tom. Tony, swinging at you real quick. Bruce Arians, the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, said Tom Brady totally exceeded expectations for the playoff on Bucs. The question to you is, how impressed are you by Tom Brady's 40th touchdown pass against Atlanta, and how do you feel about him in Tampa Bay this year?
40 touchdowns is impressive in the NFL, no matter who you're playing against. That's where I disagree with Jello. But what Jello did say that I agreed with was he has the weapons to do better than that. Like, he's been complaining about not having weapons, not having multiple weapons at a time, because he always has one at a time, type of thing. But now that you finally have the weapons and you're performing at a level that you've always performed at, you didn't exceed that. So I don't know. I'm in the middle, but I'm impressed by 40 touchdowns always. That's always great.
I agree on that. I kind of agree with you on that. I think it's a decent year. I don't think it's crazy. Like I agree with Jello on the fact that I think exceeded is the wrong word. But I do think he had a great year for his first year in Tampa, especially when he had all the pressure of people not thinking he can do it. He did better than Bill Belichick. So I think there's a lot of factors in it. But I can kind of agree with both of you guys on certain points that you hit, though, with it. But we'll move on to this next one. Jaguars and Chargers headline 6 NFL coaching vacancies. So, Jello, my question to you is, what would be a better GM or head coaching job to you? Would it be in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, or would it be in LA with Justin Herbert?
It'd be Chargers all day. So I know the Jaguars got their GM out, but that's been such a toxic environment for years. Why every big name player that goes to the Jags leaves. Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell, all sorts of ones like that. They're gone. I mean, Fournette kind of forced his being cut at that point, as weird as that sounds. So I'm going to LA, where you have Keenan Allen, you have Mike Williams, you have Guyton, you have these wide receivers coming out of nowhere picking it up. You have 4 more consistent running backs when they are healthy, and Eckler, Justin Jackson, Kalen Ballage, and Joshua Kelly. And you have Herbert. And when you get your they had a lot of injuries on defense. Bosa was hurt. They're going to get Derwin James back. I would definitely go the Chargers. There's so much upside to their team where there's not for the Jaguars. I get you have James Robinson, but quarterbacks, they couldn't even get that figured out this year. And I get if you have Trevor Lawrence at that point, but what does that mean? If you don't have a line around him, it's going to end up like Burrow. You have no offensive line. Your quarterback's going to get hit, and they're going to get hurt. So I don't want to be in that situation. The Chargers could protect Herbert more than Jacksonville could protect Lawrence. So I would go LA all day. Like the upside's there, and I think with the right people around Herbert, they're playoff contenders next year. Where Jacksonville's still going to be sitting under 5 wins with Trevor Lawrence, without Trevor Lawrence. You have a quarterback, but you need the rest of your team. They have nobody. Defensive wise, nobody. Offense with Lawrence would be 3 solid people, and Robinson, Chark, and himself. So that doesn't win games. So
I feel it. Lil J6 said it would be Jacksonville for him. Tony, coming to you on this one. Jacksonville or the Jaguars and Chargers headline 6 NFL coaching vacancies. So my question to you is, what would be the better head coaching or GM job? Would it be in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, or would it be with the Chargers and Justin Herbert?
I'm gonna say Jacksonville, and the reason I'm gonna go with Jacksonville is that an offensive line is fixable. In one offseason, you can go from having the worst to the best. There are so many big dudes that can block somebody, that are agile and have the footwork to go and hit somebody, you know? So my thing is I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence because he's a once-in-a-generation talent. He's an amazing quarterback. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And going into the year where he's going to get drafted, I know I'll have the draft pick for him. I'm going Jacksonville. I am. And that'd be awesome to be able to say that you took over Jacksonville, you took in Trevor Lawrence, and you built something. You know what I mean? Jacksonville was good, 3 years ago?
Yeah, they were in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, and they're not far off from being good again. They need a better quarterback, and they need an offensive line. Few positions on defense. Like, it's not like they need a whole brand new team like the Jets do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think Jacksonville's just missing a few key pieces, and I think Trevor Lawrence is probably the main one. So, I'm going to Jacksonville.
I like it. Jaguars and Chargers headline 6 NFL coaching vacancies. So the question is, what would be the better NFL GM or head coaching job in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, or in LA with Justin Herbert? I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you on this one, Tony. I'm going to go ahead and agree with Jello on this one. I'm going to LA with the Chargers. A lot of the reasons, like he said, there's a lot of players that are on injury that are coming back, like Derwin James. Austin Eckler is coming back. He's getting healthier. They got a Bosa brother that's hurt, and he's
Joey
starting
Bosa,
to get healthier. Yeah, Joey Bosa. They have a good team around him, and I've already seen what Justin Herbert can do in the NFL. And I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is going to be bad in the NFL. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll probably win Offensive Rookie of the Year next year, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be a beast. But I've literally already seen what Justin Herbert can do. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my chips on something that I can see and not just something that I can touch. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I feel the senses is in this one, is you're kind of either gambling on him being the best NFL quarterback like he was in college, or you could have went to the Chargers where you already knew you had a future NFL star. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely going to LA with this one. Jalen said he agrees with you on this one, Tony. He would definitely be going to Jacksonville as well. I don't disagree with you on that. I think it'd be crazy to get the GM job in Jacksonville or a head coaching job, draft Trevor Lawrence, and then say in the next 5 years you both win the Super Bowl. Like, that's y'all. You know what I mean? Like, y'all started that shit. So I don't disagree at all. Just me personally, I'm not gonna gamble my chips away.
One more thing is, if you take that job, you automatically have 2 or 3 years of job security, right?
Yeah.
Because the Jacksonville Jaguars won 1 game this year. They won 1 game.
Winning better than 1 game.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. That's literally it. You have to win. You have to just increase your wins every year, and your job is safe.
I feel it. Justin said Chargers got Derwin James too. That's what me and Jello were saying, bro. Is Derwin James is on IR and he's coming back next year. He's a beast, bro.
And they lost their star linebacker to a broken leg earlier in the season as well. So it's be crazy.
Deep. Let's get into this next one real quick. Ron Rivera says Washington could rotate 2 quarterbacks against TB12 and the Bucs. Let's not stay too long on this one. We've already talked both about Ron Rivera, the Bucs, and the Washington football team, but I want to hear what you guys' take on this one is. You think it's a good idea to limit Alex Smith? That's all I really am asking. Do you think it's smart for Alex Smith not to play the whole game?
Yes.
Start with you on this one. Tony,
You
we'll
say
go with
Tony?
Oh,
Yeah.
you said Tony? I think I said Jello.
no, Tony, you're
All
sorry.
All right. To quote the great John Madden, if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. Okay? So, that being said, I would stick with Smith until something crazy happens. But I'm sticking with Alex Smith.
I feel it. Jello, coming to you on this one. Do you think it's smart for them to limit Alex Smith's playing time in this?
Absolutely. So there's already been 2 other teams this year where the 2 quarterback system has worked in different settings, I could say, and that's the Saints, and then you have the Dolphins. You place a certain quarterback against certain strengths. So if Smith isn't picking it up, you can totally change the offense, bring in another quarterback in there. I think it's smart. I think it's something where you take out that they know what's coming. They don't with 2 quarterbacks at that point. I'm not saying every other play put in a new quarterback, but use it enough at that point. So, I mean, it hasn't done a lot of harm to the team so far who have done it this year. So I don't think it's a bad thing, especially with the injuries Smith has sustained, and I get he's back. And I know the Bucs defense is hard hitting at that point. I mean, not only is it to risk a quarterback, but if you can keep Smith from getting hit throughout the game and you have another quarterback per se taking those hits, Smith can do exactly what he needs to in that game, and that's throw the ball down the field. So, I mean, that's where I see it is let the younger guy take the hits and let your vet who is experienced and has the talent to get the ball down the field and keep him from getting hurt. So you play both of them, or Smith could get hurt, and then you're stuck with just the other guy all game.
Yeah. I like that take a lot. I don't think it personally will work. I kind of agree with Tony. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I think you need to find your guy and stick with them. And personally, the way shit was running for them, Alex Smith is their guy. If you're gonna say that the other dude is their guy or Dwayne Haskins was their guy, you're lying to yourself. It's not their guy. Alex Smith is definitely their guy, but I do think it's bigger than football for this team, especially with Ron Rivera beating cancer and Alex Smith getting his life back from his leg and stuff like that. I don't know. I would probably limit my time with him too. I'd let him get his playoff tick, and then I'd probably just accept that we're going to take an L in this one. But, who knows? Who knows what they're going to fucking do? That's just me personally, man. Justin, this next one's for you, man. Josh Jacobs gets a DUI the morning after the 1-point win over Denver. Tony, coming to you, like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? There's really no question with this. I just want to hear what you got to say on this one.
Why? I want to know where he was. Was he out getting mimosas? What was he doing? Like, why are you drinking that early? The only exception to drink that early is Mimosa Towers.
No, so what they believe, if I'm not mistaken with it, is they had been drinking all night. He decided to leave because he totaled his car and he busted his forehead up. He got stitches. So I think they'd been drinking all night, and it just happened to be that time where he thought he should go home, and that's what happened, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I don't care. I don't care. You are rich. You are famous.
He used to be homeless. What is he doing?
Don't drive, bro. Like, take a Uber.
Like, bro, yo. Look, Justin said, y'all see this mugshot. No, I didn't.
Dude, it was bad.
Honestly, I'm going to pull it up right now.
I was about to say, I could dead ass.
His forehead, dude, his stitches were like that. It looked like someone hit him with an axe straight to the forehead, from what I saw.
I'm pulling it up right now. Give me 1 second.
Weak, bro. I'm weak. Jello, what do you got to say about it?
I already said my part on it. He got what he deserved. You shouldn't have done it, and he literally beat the shit out of himself at that point with his cars. So, I mean, we already learned this from Gordon this year. Don't fucking do it. Don't drink and drive. You're rich. Take the $10 Uber.
Got on the plane or off the plane, crashed leaving the airport. I think I read a report something like that, like him and some teammates were getting drunk as hell. Damn! Damn! That boy got jacked. Tony, put him back on the screen.
All right. Just so everybody knows on the podcast, I'm getting this from the website tmz.com.
TMZ.com. Jacked up. That boy
This shit got fucked up.
That boy looked dummy as hell, boy. Appreciate you, Tony. He got. I'm gonna let Justin have his little take. He said, "My take is he's 22 and definitely gonna learn from it. This doesn't really act out, but this shit, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad it's going to be a long off season.
Yeah, in court.
Yeah, in court, for real. I don't understand how this will affect him the way that it's affected so many others, but I
That's
don't
two
know.
running backs this season that got DUIs. The other one is Melvin Gordon here for the Denver Broncos.
It would be what it be, Bumblebee. But we're gonna get right into the next subject, bruh. Heisman winner Devontae Smith, man, he's a damn beast. We'll go ahead and show some of his highlights right here, and I want to let everyone know these highlights are coming straight from YouTube. This is not copyrighted. This is straight from YouTube. We're just gonna go ahead and enjoy a little bit of his swagger. Let me go ahead and read some shit about him. Alabama Crimson Tide junior wide receiver Devontae Smith is the winner of the 82nd Heisman Trophy, as announced on Tuesday night. He is the first full-time wide receiver to win an award or win this award since Desmond Howard in the 1991 season for the Michigan Wolverines. It was like him, Trevor Lawrence, Trask, the quarterback out of Florida, and then Mac Jones, his quarterback. He easily deserved to win it, in my opinion. This boy is something different. Me and Tony were just talking about it earlier through text. He's probably his draft stock shot through the roof. He's gonna go top 5.
Yo, Justin.
Like I said, he's going third.
Justin, you are tripping if you think Ohio State beats Alabama.
Yeah, watch this dude. You think they're beating this dude?
You are tripping.
Alabama is where it's at, the A, because I wish Grant was in Alabama. I would call him, my old roommate in Alabama where I used to live. I would call him and just see the environment down there, because they're probably getting drunk in their front yards right now. Like real shit, their country is hell down there. Oh damn, these are a little laggy. They come through ish, but this boy is just so fast, bro. I think he's like 6'1", 175 or something like that. So he is a little bit smaller. But I don't know that he's not built like a Julio or like a Michael Thomas to me. But to me, he reminds me of someone like a Marvin Harrison type, like the receiver for the Lions. You know what I mean? Taller guy, but really skinny, but has great speed and great hands. Really physical without the ball, stuff like that. He kind of reminds me somewhat of a Steve Smith because of his size. He's a little bit smaller than most receivers, but he really plays bigger than he is. But I don't know, man. Who does he remind you guys of?
So this is a tough one, just off sheer toughness. I mean, and that's where it's tough, is trying to compare him to another big receiver at that point. But coming out of Alabama, I compare him to someone like Calvin Ridley, for example. I'm not going old school guy because I'm trying to go with newer as possible. And I think Calvin Ridley's a good one because the size isn't like crazy like most people at that point, but he works hard, he fights for what he wants, and he gets open when he needs to. So I think that, to me, that's a good comparison overall. But I think he's better than Ridley. I think their play style is pretty similar.
Ooh, Dylan said he reminds me of Devontae Adams. I can see that.
That's not a bad one.
Senior type, but just crazy.
Right.
Tony, who does he remind you of?
On it, Jello, say what you're gonna say, because I'm trying to think right now.
So what I'm saying is, like I said before, Devonta Smith, third to the Dolphins. There's no doubt in my mind. He's going top 3. He's not going further than that.
My thing about that is I don't disagree, but I have to disagree because I don't think Penei Sewell is dropping past 3 either.
But
so I think
what I'm saying.
One of them two is going to drop. I don't think it's going to be Jay Fields or Trevor Lawrence. I think it's going to be him or Penei Sewell that drops.
So
in my
you remember that trade I brought up? This is what I'm saying. The Cowboys trade Zeke and something else to the Jets for their second pick, taking Penei Sewell to protect Dak next year. That's my guess with that. I said Penei Sewell was going second.
Bro,
and I don't like the Cowboys, but I think that's the most logical answer.
I think he's a better Juju.
Really?
I think he's a better Juju. Looking at his play style, he's fast, he's shifty. I'm gonna say a better Juju. I think he's gonna be way better than Juju.
I can see him. He kind of reminds me of like a CD type too, the way he runs his routes. Like
Yeah,
really,
or a Ruggs or a Jerry Judy, like Justin said.
yeah, like Justin said, just like a younger type. He runs his, and it might be like a younger generation type of thing. But them receivers run their routes so intense as younger dudes. Like watch how he goes in and out of the cuts. Like he's really fucking tense with his head with it. You know what I mean? Like, and not to say that receivers don't do that because, like, say Diggs, he's a veteran receiver and he does that shit with his head, but just not like these younger cats do. Every single young receiver you see coming into the NFL, they all have great route running. You never see a sloppy route runner nowadays, and I love it. So I don't know. I completely agree with you guys. I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what he can do, to be honest. But we'll get into that in a little bit, man. We're gonna go ahead and start winding down tonight's show, the Rick T Podcast, episode 22. I do want to promote a couple things before we get into some other certain topics. Let me see what's in the chat real quick. You said they all went to Bama too. That's facts. Judy, Ruggs,
Smith.
yeah, Smith. Where did Calvin Ridley go? He went to Georgia, didn't he?
No, he was Alabama.
Yeah, and then you also had, I think Derrick Henry went to Bama, right?
Derrick Henry went to Bama. Julio, there's a bunch of crazy players that went to Bama. So them Bama players are ridiculous. It'll be crazy to see though where he has to go this upcoming year. It'll be dope to see though. So let me go ahead and get into this real fast. Sorry, I had to exit out of that. I want to go ahead and promote YouTube for all the clips and stuff that we get our stuff. I'll also promote TMZ because that's where Tony got the picture tonight of Josh Jacobs' DUI photo. But this stuff is not copyrighted. We are not taking any videos off TV or taking our own videos or stuff like that. It's straight off of YouTube. So go ahead and like our shit. Or it's all good to post on YouTube. I hope they don't hit us with copyright stuff because we're getting our stuff straight from them. I do want to promote one more thing, a couple more things. Shout out to my boys at the Four Quarter Show, bro. The Four Quarter Show is a podcast, sports podcast with a couple guys just like ourselves who talk, debate, and keep updated on all interesting NFL, NBA news week to week. Follow them on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at the Fourth Quarter Show. And show my guys down in Miami some love. You would definitely not regret it. Like I said, we're planning to get a collab podcast with them Super Bowl weekend. We can get all 5 of us on here, chop it up, talk it out. So keep tuning on our social medias to see when that'll be happening and see where that'll be happening on what social media platform for real. So like I said, go follow my guy at the Four Quarter Show, man. More thing. Here at the Rick E Podcast, we choose Alexander's Angels. I'm going to promote it again and again like we do every week. Alexander's Angels is an organization that helps raise awareness and acceptance for people with Down syndrome. We here at the Rick T Podcast are 100% with and fully support Alexander's Angels. It's a dope organization, guys. Just log on to the website, see what you can do, see how you can get involved. You definitely won't regret that more than anything here on this show. We love supporting that group. We love talking to those people over there. And we're definitely looking forward to hearing back from Alexander's mom and seeing what she has to say and stuff like that. So it'll be dope.
And something I want to throw out just real quick here, guys. I'm going to do a giveaway for people who donate to Alexander's Angels. I don't know how we're going to go about showing proof. I guess we'll have to go on Trust, which is we'll still figure it out. But so this bad boy this will be the giveaway right here. Amari Cooper signed helmet. I got the COA and everything. If need be, pictures can be sent. But signed mini helmet by Riddell. So even better, where to go.
When you donate to Alexander's Angels, there's probably going to be like a confirmation number or something like that. We don't want to see the amount.
Yeah.
We don't want to see how much you put towards it. We don't care about that. Just show us like
that you did it, that you got involved, that you went on that website and did something, that you seen it. Show us a picture of it, anything, really, just for support. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see.
Please cover up the amount of money when you send in pictures to our Instagram, Twitter, anything like that.
And a big thing, we don't want to know how much you're donating. We get the last year and how that went, how everything's still going. It's just for us, it could be 25 cents as $1. It's the thought that counts here.
Mhm.
It's every cent counts, especially with organizations like this. So I'm more than willing to do giveaways like this stuff. Just we got to keep this going, guys. So
You guys
don't
bait
forget about
me
the
or
giveaway.
Yeah, Justin, get your ass over to Alexander's Angels and freaking
You
donate.
made me that helmet though.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you again. Ready? Ooh, there it is. Bam.
Yes, sir. Get over there and donate.
Cooper, definitely go donate, Justin. It's definitely worth it. It's a great cause for real, for real. Going on to the next thing. Talk Your Talk, bruh. You already know what it is. Talk Your Talk is a spin-off from this show, the Rick T Podcast, where myself, Eric, has a little 30-minute phone conversation with a random guest to talk their talk about their team, interest, or life. We're going to dig a little bit deeper on a personal level during Talk Your Talk with our fans, friends, and family than we normally would on the Rick T Podcast. We start tuning in Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time on our Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook platforms to watch, comment, and enjoy our new spinoff podcast, Talk Your Talk. Episode 3 is live Sunday morning, January 10th, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. See you all there. And for those who don't know, my special guest this week is Jay Money Time, Justin Sanchez. He will be there Sunday morning. We're going to be talking some shit because his team's not playing, my team's not playing. So we're just going to be sipping some coffee, getting ready for the day. I hope everyone's there to tune in. But now we're going to do something a little different. My lady and me made some Rick T Podcast shirts. So I want to show them off to the world and show them what they could be winning and what they could be getting from just being fans of the Rick T Podcast, man. I owe Justin one. I owe Tony and Jello one. I owe Jay one. I owe people shirts. I know who I owe shirts. But I do want to let you guys know you can also buy these shits. We're making an Instagram for all these shits soon. I hope you guys think they're dope. But we're going to have a little show, bruh. Straight up. Come on. So first off, we got this fucking shirt. You know what I mean? It's a straight Rick T Podcast t-shirt, Alien Invasion t-shirt. I know y'all fuck with this shit. It's straight cold, straight fire. You already know what it is. Along with the alien on the sleeve. Ain't nothing new, ain't nothing real, it's nothing fake. We'll get into the next shirt. This is probably one of our most basic ones, most original ones, man. The Rick T Podcast football t-shirt. People real, something real basic, just to show some love to the podcast, man. So let us know what you think on shirt number 1. This is shirt number 1, so let us know what you think on it. Going to shirt number 2, one of my personal favorites, the Indian shirt, man. You already know what it is. Keep it real culture around here. At the Rick T Podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Swing it over to the back. You already know something real hard, bro. Got a hard ass Indian in our podcast colors. Go ahead and get that. Let us know what you think of shirt number 2, man. The Indian shirt, straight up, bro. Shirt number 3. You guys have already seen this one. I showed this one last weekend, but this is the Rick T Podcast original football t-shirt. You already know the visor, the RT on it. Rick T Podcast. Swing it over the back. Black Lives Matter. You know, we got to show support for the Black Lives Matter. Can't let that one go. Then we got the King Henry version of it. You know, no visor, but we do got the crown. Shout out to King Henry. The RT for the Rick T Podcast. And you already know what it is on the sleeve, man. Here for the beer. So let us know what you think of shirt number 4. And this is shirt number 5. So let us know what you guys think of the shirts. Comment your guys' favorite. Let us know what we should be making. But definitely we're gonna keep it going. My girl loves making shirts. I actually kind of enjoy designing them too. So I think the shit's dope. Let us know what shirts do you think we should keep going. What shirts do you think we should send out to people, and stuff like that too, man. But I do want to thank people for tuning in to the Rick T Podcast episode 22. Been going hard, man, for a long ass time, man, for at least 10, 11, 12 weeks now. We're going to keep going hard through the basketball season. We're going to start chopping it up more about basketball. We're going to keep real in touch with this college football national championship and keeping in touch with the playoffs as well. You boys got anything else to say on the podcast?
No, sir. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys. Remember, we got to get to 1,000. Don't forget that big giveaway. We haven't brought it up a lot. It's still there. Let's get to 1,000. Let's keep this rolling. But thanks everybody who's watching. Thanks for chopping it up in the chat. It's all we really ask for. Just support, and we'll support you.
Straight up, y'all. Appreciate you guys. Well, see you guys Saturday for the Rick T Podcast, episode 23. See you guys there, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Don't miss out. We'll be chopping it up on some real shit.
That shit's gonna be intense.
Yeah, on some real shit, bro.
That Washington Bucks game is gonna be ending right about the time we hop on here. So
It might. I actually think it still might be on. So that might be in the background for me. And you already know how I do with the shit in the background. So
yeah.
we'll see what we can do, man. But thank you guys for tuning into the Rick T Podcast, episode 22. See y'all Saturday for episode 23. Peace.